Kurt, I'm going to start things off with a question that Ken Manessi asks here. He says, can you tell me about Hummingbird? What is it, and what do I need to know about it? And this is, well, I'll let you explain it, Kurt.
All right. Well, Hummingbird, not referring to the actual bird, is an update for Google. And basically, they updated their core algorithm, which is the very foundation of what Google uses to do their search. It's kind of like changing out the engine in a car. And so this Hummingbird update updated that. And the primary change that they made is something called semantics. They're working into semantic search, which is semantics is just the relationship of words and things together. And so what Google is trying to do is trying to be better at understanding how things fit together. So they basically want the search to be more like talking to a person. You know, like if you ask me a question, I hear the string of words together in a sentence, and I understand by the context what you're asking me. Whereas before, with the search engines, they just saw a string of individual words, and they didn't really understand how they connected. So, you know, they've implemented this semantic idea into search so that they can look at the different words that are being searched for and understand what the whole phrase is and what you're meaning. You know, to be able to give you better answers for things. So an example would be, like if you were to do a search for Andromeda, okay, let's just type in Andromeda and do a search. Well, Andromeda means a lot of different things. It could be a galaxy. There was a TV show called Andromeda. There's a band called Andromeda. There's a lot of different things that you could be talking about when you search for Andromeda. And you know, if all you say is Andromeda, then nobody really knows what you're talking about. Now, if you ask me, I would probably ask to clarify. I'd say, well, which Andromeda are you talking about? And then you could tell me what you mean. With the search engine, they don't ask that, but the way they've changed things now is how they give you the answers. So before, let's say you search for Andromeda, and all the most authoritative, well-optimized pages were about the TV show. The top results may just all be about the TV show. And if you were looking for the galaxy, you're not finding the information that you want. Now, Google is able to understand, hey, there's a lot of different things that Andromeda could be referring to, so our search results should reflect that. And so they'll have, you know, maybe something about the show, and then they'll have a wiki page about the Andromeda galaxy, and they may have the band site, you know, and all the different things that Andromeda could be referring to. Their way of saying which do you mean is by putting up different results from the different possibilities. And then, of course, if you have more words in your search, then they're able to start narrowing things down themselves. So if you search for Andromeda characters, you know, they would know, okay, well, that's not going to be the galaxy, because you wouldn't say that about a galaxy. So you're probably talking about the show, or maybe about the Andromeda mythology, and so then they can limit their results to just those things.
Okay.
So that's the main thing that Hummingbird did, was they're trying to make it so that when you type something into search, they're able to understand better what you mean and give results that are related better to what you mean. And they also do that on the other side, where when they look at a page, they're trying to understand what a web page is really about, as opposed to just seeing a string of words and trying to, you know, well, they used this word 30 times on it. That must be what it's about. They're doing a better job of understanding that.
So what does this mean for the average person who wants to rank better in search engines for a particular, you know, for their area, for their niche, or certain phrases or something like that? What does it mean to that kind of a person?
It means that there's less of a focus on the individual keywords because Google is now better able to understand the concept as opposed to just the word. So, and the synonyms and all that kind of stuff, they kind of put it all together and understand it better. Other than that, it's not really that different. Links still bring authority to a site, and getting people talking about things on social still help sites. The signals are all the same. It's just how does Google understand those signals that's changing a little bit. So when you're writing content now, you just want to make sure that the content is, I guess it semantically explains what the page is about, that they're able to read it and totally get, okay, this is what this page is about, the concept of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why, Kurt, I think you advocate basically sticking to one topic per page so that Google and other search engines can understand what the topic is, whereas if you kind of are all over the place, you can confuse the search engines and they won't really be able to identify the topic that you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You get two, it's kind of like a person, like when you're looking at the bulletin at church, a lot of times in the bulletin there's 30 different announcements on one page, and you kind of look at that and you're like, okay, I'm trying to understand all of this, and it takes a lot to do that, and sometimes people get lost in that process. Whereas if you just have an insert that has just one event, people can glance at that and totally understand, okay, this is announcing the event that's coming up in a week, and I know what this is about.
Okay.